welcome to South by Southwest London, day 2. I have to say I'm so happy that it retains the vibe of Austin. Austin is such a unique city, and being able to see it with a little bit of a British flavor infused here is just amazing. So over the past 2 years, every single one of us has been bombarded with AI. Daily news about new and improved models, new ways of using AI. Everybody's talking about agentic AI now. And the thing is, the technology is important, but we really need to be focusing on the experiences. I want you all, I'm going to take a little bit of a wild guess, and I'm going to assume many of you have been to a football stadium in the past. Some of you may even be football fans who goes to the stadium regularly. You might have the experience that I have every time I go to watch Inter Miami. Yes, Argentinian living in Miami, I go to watch Inter Miami all the time because Messi is there. And every single time we go, my husband has to open his phone, fumble with the Ticketmaster app, figure out how to log in again because it logs him out every time. It's like a catastrophe. Now, let's take it all the way to the other end. Let's imagine the stadium knows who we are before we ever step foot on it. We just walk in, we get to our seats, we want to eat something, we go in, get out. Sounds like a dream. But it's not. This is what we built with the Intuit Dome. Now, the Intuit Dome is the home of the LA Clippers, and I'm going to guess that most of you have no idea who the LA Clippers are. I used ChatGPT to give me this reference. It sounds like it might be okay. I'm not entirely sure, but it sounds it's okay. The LA Clippers are sort of like Tottenham Hotspur, meaning a team in a big city, they have a good stadium, they're flashy, but they're always the other team. In the case of the Clippers, they have the Lakers. I'm not trying to be mean to any fans. But in the case of the Clippers, every year we're thinking maybe next year they'll win. In 2014, Steve Ballmer, Microsoft's former CEO, he left Microsoft and he decided he wanted to purchase this team. Why? Because he's a billionaire and he's an eccentric and he has the money and it was an option. But he purchased it with a dream, with the dream of bringing this team to their first championship. And one might say, okay, to win a championship, I need actually the best players, I need a lot of investment. He has a different view. He's positive that for the team to win the championship, the first thing he needs is the best fans, engaged, cheering on the team every single day. So he started with this vision 9 years ago that has won multiple awards already, where he wanted to make a stadium where the fans spend all of the time doing what we fans want to do. We don't want to be in a queue waiting for nachos. We want to be sitting on our seats, cheering on our team, hopefully watching their win. So he had a vision that started from the architecture. This thing has 1,400 toilets. He doesn't want anybody to even have to wait for a minute in a bathroom. So here's how it works. Once you want to go to the stadium to watch something, you create a fan identity. This fan identity uses biometrics, because in the US we're not as creeped out about biometrics, or maybe we're not as mindful about the fact, or it can use the top of the phone. I'm sure that gives a breath of fresh air here. With that identity, it starts from the moment you go in the parking. It has incredible features. There's this whole section of the stadium that actually has not assigned seats. You're a fan that goes to that section. As soon as you go in the parking, it knows you're there in the parking. It will assign your first seats. You will go in, you entry, literally, this is all you have to do to enter. You're not stopped by anybody. You want to buy food? It's 4 to 8 times faster than typical. Anything you want to do is personalized, head to toe. But I want you to think, if I had an AI concierge that could get me the tickets, could get me the nachos, and somehow either have them waiting for me or get them to my seat, could get me some highlights into my phone of what's going on, why would I engage directly with a brand? AI that doesn't enrich experiences is just expensive noise. The technology is very important. We cannot forget about the technology, of course. But AI is not the goal. The experience is. Driving people to somewhere meaningful is what matters. There are 3 pillars to be able to build an unparalleled AI experience. And I'm going to go over these 3 pillars and a few strategic imperatives as to how to actually lead this transformation. Now, you've probably all heard about AI concierges or machine customers or whichever way you want to call them. It's basically when AI is going to handle our transactions on our behalf. I don't know about you, but if I don't have to go to the bank or open my bank application ever again, I'm not going to complain. And the thing is, in this AI-mediated future, where AI is handling every transaction, our loyalty is not going to be with the brand. It's going to be with the AI. So unless as brands we find a way to become relevant, to anticipate, we're going to be just another brand that AI might not even consider. At the Intuit Dome, the way we fix this is by creating a loyalty program that is constantly anticipating your desires. So as soon as you open your application, you might get an offer for an upgrade. Or as soon as halftime arrives, which, if you know basketball, is very little predictable, you never know when it's going to be, you get a discount offer. You get a reward for being the one that cheered the loudest. And this is literal. We have sensors all around the stadium that lets us know who cheered the loudest. That kind of anticipation builds a relevance that you cannot compare to generic ads or loyalty points. The second pillar is emotional resonance. Relevance brings attention. Emotion wins hearts. And it is the brand story that captures the heart. I went to Disney, to a Disney property, for the first time when I was 26. Not as a little kid. Come from Argentina, not from a very well-positioned family, so I wasn't even thinking about Disney at all, my whole life. Got to go there because I was in California. Some friends say, hey, let's go. I said, sure, why not? Nothing to lose, right? You get to go on rides. It was the night. We'd been riding rides all day. And I'm getting goosebumps as I remember this, by the way. I was standing watching Fantasmic. I don't know who here has gone to Disney, World or Land. They both have Fantasmic. And it's this show, this in-person Mickey show that is done in the middle of Tom Sawyer Island, in the case of Disneyland. And I vividly remember the moment when Maleficent, the witch, starts growing and towering in front of us. She starts, like, there's a fight, and it's a dream, and she starts growing and growing and growing. And I kid you not, I was standing there, and I started doing like this. And I felt like a 10-year-old kid. I had that sense of awe, of magic, of, I cannot believe this. How is this happening? And that day changed my relationship with Disney forever. Disney is a master at doing this. And they do it with technology all the time. A few years ago, we worked with them as they released their Magic Bands. It's like your Apple Watch, but basically that you use it to get into the park, open the door for the hotel, pay for stuff, whatever. It's been there for a few years, so they worked on updates recently. And what they did was add lights. And what they do with the lights is, if you're watching fireworks, they will match what you're looking at the fireworks. If you're doing a color show, like the ones they have in some of the parks, they will match the colors. If you're getting off of a haunted mansion, it will vibrate and show bloody red. Seriously. And that extension of magic has my 9-year-old, every time we go to Disney, anxiously looking at her little wristband to see what color is going to shine now. That's emotion. That's something that bonds you to a brand forever. The third pillar is a little bit more obvious to all of us. Every time there's friction, we feel a little bit put off. Brands need to make sure that the technology is not the thing that's visible. What needs to be visible is the value. In the case of the Intuit Dome, you have the stores, and we have iFi, one of the many partners that work with us building it. Of course, it wasn't just us. And they have a gazillion sensors. I don't remember how many thousands of cameras they have, checking absolutely everything, so that you can literally walk in, walk out. Like you see it right here. She just walks in, walks out. When you get it to a place where technology is completely seamless, that's when it starts feeling magical for your customers. Something's odd with my timer. It says I have 4 minutes, so I'm going to rush. I don't have a clock, so I don't know. Let's talk about the imperatives. I talked about what matters, right? What do we need to have to make sure that we have these amazing experiences? There are 4 actionable mindsets that we can use to start building them. The first one is a user-first mindset. It's very common that we start with technology. Oh, O3 is out, O4 Mini is out, we need to use it. What happens with, we find a business process, we shove it in, and we call it a day. And what do we have at the end of the day? Lackluster AI that frustrates every single customer. Don't do that. Flip it. Start with your customer journey. Find the highs, the lows. Ask, how is this going to make it more efficient, more empathetic, more delightful for a customer if I use AI? Infuse your brand story everywhere. If you're just thinking about interactions without thinking the story, it doesn't add value. Your data should not be used to personalize, but to build stories that resonate. Think Disney magic instead of algorithmic suggestions. Experiment. Rapid. Today, tomorrow. We cannot waste time. Several reasons for that. One, the technology is moving faster than we can all even blink. With that, customer expectations are changing constantly. So if you're still using yesterday's data, or if you're still trying to figure out what to do, you're going to be left behind of what's happening tomorrow. So you need to have something out there fast with tight feedback loops so that you're constantly changing and adapting, and you are evolving alongside your customer instead of against him. And this one is one that I understood after a lot of years. We've all talked about cross-discipline. We've all said it. We've all been there saying, yes, yes, we need a cross-disciplinary team. Here's the thing. I have a unique background. I studied computer science, but I spent 6 years running our marketing, and I did sales. I know when I go into meetings with one of those teams, I always bring to the table perspectives that there's no way they would have. And they all tend to be very siloed, naturally, because we all think the other one doesn't know a thing of what they're talking about because they don't understand our problems. But the reality at the end of the day is that if we don't break those silos, we're going to come out with AI that is not useful for anybody, experiences that are not aligned to the brand values. That will not work. Have technology talk about what we can do. Design talk about how we can make it seamless. Marketing talk about how does this reflect the brand. And strategy talk about how does this align to our goals, to our revenue goals. Don't let them wait in isolation. Now, I've rushed because of the timer. I thought I had more time. Maybe I flew through it. I can talk for hours about all of this, if you can tell, because I'm not even using notes. We have the 3 pillars. You need to use them, and you need to figure out a way to embed this into your businesses. I want to ask you, if that AI concierge, the one that's coming very fast, is handling every interaction. Will your brand matter? Or will it be another face in a long feed of unknowns? Take the learnings from this talk and from everything you're taking here from South by, and spend the next quarter figuring out one customer story, one problem, and prototyping something before the quarter ends. Push yourselves and your teams. Get there. Because in tomorrow's world, it is not the flashiest AI that will win. It's the most meaningful experience. Thank you, and please enjoy the rest of South by.